So Rein in a comp like this is always a little bit difficult because it's kind of hard to figure out what you actually need to be doing. So in this case, you see the Rein trying to move in the direction of Sniper, so you push him back, which is good. This drop is like a little questionable. You don't really want to challenge over this choke, right? Because if you look at the LOS your team has, it's not very great. You want to challenge on this side of the choke, right? Where like your team has a big concave that can surround this spot, right? And you want to pressure. You either want to hold the right side or left side, depending on what you think the enemy team's leaning on, and just like or whichever side your team is not leaning on, I guess. And just really hold it down and make it hard for them to push in. But this is too far forward. Like your team can't contribute. Like your Ashe is kind of peeking, right? And your Widow is holding the same angle as you, so like minimal pressure, and she's also like staring down the other Widow. Um, so in general, like it's very difficult for your team to support you here, right? And like you're not even getting healing. Your Ana can't even see you yet, right? So just in general, you want to hold like further back. You can posture aggressively, right? But don't actually commit to the corner, which is what you're doing right now. Like you're trading. So that forces a defensive on a nade and all of your shield, right? And then what's happening right now is like your concave is collapsing because you're not backing up this direction. Because the reason why I'm telling you to hold this direction isn't because it's better. It's because nobody ever holds it in ranked. So you need to hold the side because no one else will for you, right? Alright, see this corner is much better. You trade with that guy, and you took literally no damage. Meanwhile, this Rein is running out of shield, and he lost a lot of health as well, right? There's a lot of benefits to holding like stronger, like to holding outside of concaves, right? You're not very you're not playing around cooldowns very well. So like um Ryan Zarya in general has like a very like push and pull element to it, right? But when you push, so when you push, you need to push really hard. When you pull, you kind of need to like draw it back a little bit further, right? So in this case, right, you don't have bubble. Your bubble's coming up soon. Yes. Okay. And you're trading before you have bubble, right? And then you're gonna back up, and this baits a defensive nade, right? So now you have no nade. It happens to purple to this guy as well, right? I don't know if I went far enough back actually, but whatever. Um, you chase this Rein, which is okay. Like you just gotta be walking towards something, right? You gotta be walking this way to shove the soldier out, so he has to go back here, right? And then you can just keep walking forward, right? The power of Rein in these like sniper matchups, as opposed to playing Sigma, is that like Sigma is like contestable, right? If you have enough resources there, right, like a Zarya and a soldier, maybe like you can force the Sigma back, right? But if you're a Reinhardt, right, you just hold shield and walk at them, and they're all running away from you. It doesn't really matter, right? They're gonna run away from you until your shield's running low, and then you stop and hide behind a corner, and then you try to recharge shield and do it again, right? But if you don't walk at people, you just walk at the cart, right? People aren't scared of you; they just set up around you and they shoot you, right? This is like what we don't want the soldier to be doing, right? And if you're gonna walk a cart, like at minimum, you need to be walking straight at the Zarya and trying to hit her, right? But if all you do is stand here, you're eventually gonna lose, especially without a Zarya, right? Like, do you see you decide to walk at the soldier now, but you were already here a second ago, right? You see how long it takes for this to happen, right? And then meanwhile you're also letting the Zarya do what she wants. So like you got to here, you killed the Rhino, which is good, right? And then you walk back to main, right? And now you're walking back, and you're just being so indecisive. It's costing your team a lot, right? And then again, you don't chase the soldier. You don't keep walking and force him in the Ana all the way out back here. And then like imagine if like you as Ryan push them all the way out here. You sit behind the cart, right? You can contest the payload, and you completely destroyed the concave. The concave is gone, right? If the soldier's smart, he'll like run away, like just keep running in circles and getting away from you, right? But most soldiers aren't very smart, right? They'll just run away and be, oh, Ryan chasing me, and then he runs over here and it's like, oh, Ryan's still chasing me. He runs over here, right? And now he's stuck in main, right, where he doesn't want to be, right? But meanwhile, again, like, you push him out, right? Vaguely, right? You got to here, and he went right back to cart, right? And what's gonna happen next? I mean, he's dumb, but like soldier can just like walk back out. I mean, this is a Widow here, I guess, right? But this is like pressure. Like, do you see this, right? This is what you need to be stopping, right? This is not the priority, right? I mean, I guess you're gonna kill this guy. He's dumb, but this is the priority. Ah, unlucky. Yeah, and soldier killed your Widow and killed your Ana, right? I think actually maybe your Widow lived. Or your Widow's dead. So he killed your Widow and your Ana, right? And that's on you, right? because you can prevent that. Sure, you killed the Moira, but that's not what's important here because like you're not running a rush comp. You're running snipers, right? So the most important thing is control angles. Play like a Sigma, right? Just like a really beefy short range Sigma.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Awkward. I'll cut that from the VOD, don't worry. No one will ever see it. Alright, where's the enemy team? Obviously I'm cheating because I can see through walls, but like, no. That's not a lot of people in front of you. Yep. You just lost track of him, right? Like, where's the Rein? That should be like the first question. I mean, he's dumb, but you know. Right, so instead of backing up here, you should be like walking up here as fast as you can, right? And that way you can shove this guy off high ground, and now they're all stuck on low ground, right? And you should be encouraging your team to follow you, right? Or you can come up here, right? You make this on an anti, and then you drop down and hit them anyways, right? But if you want to get aggressive here, this should be the way you do it. Get aggressive on the pathing, right? You can also back up here. I don't really mind it, but like again, you see soldier, walk straight at him, just like walk at him, right? And then force him out, right? And then then you consider whether or not you want to like either keep holding cart, which is probably not the answer, or just go back high ground. There's a bunch of stuff you can do, but again, don't be afraid to walk at people. That's their whole point. That's your whole purpose in life as a Reinhardt, is to walk at people. Your team playing aggressive, right? You can muscle posture aggressively. All right.
No one can hide
Moment of
from my
peace.
sight.
These war-torn times. Yeah. You see how expensive it is to walk at them from head on without like controlling an angle or something? Like you just walk straight in, and it requires the nano, the grab, everything. Valk for you to just like walk at them, as opposed to just like walking at their DPS and like controlling angles. Right, so again, I know you want to chase the Rein, right? But don't walk at the Rein. Walk at the angle first, clear the angle, then turn in this direction, right? So it's really important that you get this right, because this is like how Cloudy carries, even though he's like doing dumb things like meme charges and stuff like that, right? Is he like when he pushes, he doesn't push like this, right? Unless he has speed or something, right? He pushes like this, right? Or he like pushes up here, clears his angle, and then drops or something, right? Like he's always contesting off angles first, which is why it looks like he's flanking sometimes. But he's like the way he pushes is like very specific. Oh, she actually woke you. Hey, big pen. Oh, it didn't work. I don't mind this. It's a little questionable now that you don't have Bob, because like your team doesn't actually have a lot of front lane power, and you're on snipers. But okay. Unlucky. Probably should have seen that one coming, but right, there's the bubble. This is a free shatter. Don't delay on that. As soon as like the bubble expires, really, just take it. Nice pin. Go back to control. No, help your Zarya. Again, right? You don't do anything to this, right? You literally can't do anything to this, right? Either if you hear this guy, drop on this guy and kill her, right? Or help your Zarya, right? But don't like leave your Zarya to die, unless like you're killing the Widow or something, which I don't think you knew about her, so I didn't either. So. Nice. There's monkey jump. You can throw a fire strike, but you really don't do anything else, so don't even try. Again, like you spent so much time looking at this monkey that you didn't even try to throw a fire strike at it, and they also don't do anything at, right? And meanwhile, they pushed up to here instead of you holding this spot and making it difficult for them to push, right? So again, like know your priorities, right? When the monkey jumps, when you have nothing else to do, take a look and then go back to what you're doing if you can't do anything about it, right? But like you're giving up so much ground here. Like the Zarya should be scared of you, not the other way around, right? Like what is Zarya gonna do to you? But because you're playing here, you're forced to shield instead of using your shield to like do something. Like again, you want to use the shield as a purpose, right? So you're shielding to walk forward, to get to here, to push the Zarya out, so that you can hide behind this corner and actually recharge your shield, right? But if you stand here, eventually you're gonna run out of shield. Like eventually. Like, you get to recharge your shield because they're dumb, and you barely get to recharge it before you're taking damage again, right? Did she just miss the grab on you? This is totally valuable to pin, by the way. Okay, so the thing with the pin, about pushing this when you don't have nano, or when your nano's expiring, is that, like, you break LOS, right? But, if you pin, like, you still have nano, right? So you still have nano, so if you pin right now, how do these guys get away from you? This is a guaranteed, at least 1 kill, probably 2, right? Because you have bubble, you have nano, you should just pin right now, secure the kills, right, and go, right? But if you walk in, right, you just run out of ability to walk in, right? You just run out of resources eventually, right? Like, this takes so long that your nano expires, your bubble expires before you actually get to hit anything, right? And your discord, and you just melt, right? They didn't even discord you. Wow, okay. But, like, again, if you're gonna make this play, right, you want to push these guys, this should be a pin down this hallway. They can't do anything about it. You only have so much time for your nano, right? You gotta use the remainder of your nano if you're gonna push. Backing is also fine there, but if you want to get aggressive, that needs to be a pin.
No one can hide from my sight.
I like the not pinning there. That's unlucky. Yeah, like if you hear stuff going over there, just start walking at it, right? Like just start walking at anything that you feel like you can hammer, right? Like you can kind of pause here for a second and decide, like, do I actually need to look at that? You're even shielding it, right? Like, no, just walk over there. It doesn't matter if you take damage. Nice. There's a problem you can solve, so you walk at it. Look at this monkey. He's so sad. What a wasted primal. You can actually just shatter this guy probably, and he'll die. That's not you. Again, like shatter anything. Like shatter is not a great ult. Or it is a good ult, but like, you know, it's unreliable. Like shatter this. Like you're being so patient. Like you're spending all your time walking away from people. This is, you know, like it's kind of a meme to be too aggressive on Rein, but like I'm serious. Like I actually want you to be way more aggressive than this. This is too patient. Like there are times when you need to play defensive, right? And Cloudy will do this as well, right? But like especially at like lower ranks, you can get away with a lot of dumb like stuff, and just by exploiting like aggression that they like exploiting like openings that they give you. Right? There's been so many openings that you've missed already, right? And then like eventually you'll learn like which openings are like not real openings, right? But you're trying to look for openings, right? You spend this whole time just like you're like fighting, you're just like hammering a ball, right? And then you dropped in front of the supports and didn't shatter them, and then you've been like just worrying about cards all the time. Then you backed up, right? Like you just haven't been looking to be aggressive here. Yeah, sorry. You're not looking to like make plays, right? You had shattered the entire fight and didn't use it. In like a very winnable fight. Alright, having what you can do here, but you should be looking to get close to them, right? Ah, they already woke up, feels bad. Right, like, I don't know, something needs to happen now, so, and you can just make that happen, that's right. Alright, dead ball. Yeah, this is like the freest shadow in the world. Yeah, you just gotta shatter earlier, right? Like, as soon as you get the opportunity, before they recognize they're in trouble, right? Because the more you have to walk at them, the more you have to shield. And the more you have to shield, the slower you are, right? So, the earlier you do it, the more likely you actually are to hit it, right? You come around this corner, right? Boom. This is actually, you hit the shadow right now, and at least one, right? You get at least one. Right? But again, the more you shield, the more distance is then created, right? And now you can't get the shatter, right? And there's so much more pressure on you. And then you die for it. And again, also look at your pathing, right? Went straight in, right? You didn't, for example, like regroup with your team on this side, right? And then just walk in this way, right? Where you can more aggressively get on the back line. Or like, I don't know, back up the stairs behind you, go to the high ground, right? Go to high ground. Maybe not this path. Okay, this path sucks, never mind. You might be able to come up this, I'm not actually sure if you can. But like the point is like be less direct with your pathing. The more direct with it you are, the more obvious it is what you're doing. Or like what you're going to do. So fewer options you actually have. Hog, fair enough. I think I'm gonna skip this. Not sure how much you're gonna be playing Hog, so. Is it all Hog?
Ready for battle.
Oh, Monkey. Okay, let's watch the Monkey. There's even swapped to Rein. Got one fight and then swapped. Okay. Okay, so it's Monkey. You need to prioritize not going the same way as your team, because if you walk the same way as your team, you're going to get spammed out like insanely hard. So at this point, right, if you see where they are, you know where they are, just like drop, start going this way, and then you can jump in behind them through the window or go underneath, right? And then one thing you can do is like once you're underneath, right, you can like sneak around if they're not watching, right? And then you can get a free jump on the island or something, right? And this is really, really value because it creates so much open like space for your team, right? Or you can jump in, like come up behind, right, and then jump up behind them as well. That's totally valid. And then you can drop down to cart and then run around the corner and hide. After you bubble and stuff like that, there's a bunch of stuff you can do. Or you can jump like through them kind of and land here, bubble, and then drop out through the window, right? There's a whole bunch of plays you can do, but all of them involve not going with your team. That's the most important thing. So this is really problematic because this is a frontal jump, right? This is from the front, the same direction as your team. So even though you didn't technically quote unquote go with your team, you end up in the same direction as your team. Plus your team's not even ready to fight, right? So not only did you not give your team time to set up, right? You jumped in, and if you look, this is the same angle your team would have. This doesn't help at all, right? This is front jumping still. That's very awkward. Like it's good, like you missed the jump, but it's actually good that you missed the jump because that actually would have been bad if you landed there, like actively bad. Right. This is also like it's better, right? It's better than this jump, right? But it's also like still not the best, right? In terms of like you're on the side of them, but you're not like coming in from behind them or anything. It's like this is okay, but it's not like ideal. It's better than the previous one, though. Hey, big. Alright, you should be looking. You should just be hiding underneath, right? If someone pushes you, you can fight them, right? But if they're not gonna push you, you don't want to like just feed all by standing in the open, right? At minimum, be behind this, right? Yeah, but like you peeking here, this is really bad. No cooldowns, you can't get aggressive. Again, if you're gonna do this, right, take the time to like instead of sitting here, right? I mean, obviously you need to get healed, but once you get healed, start walking, right? Start flanking. Again, be careful standing in the open, right? As opposed to just like hugging the walls and being less shootable as you get healing. Again, this jump sucks. We talked about this. You got like 3% ult out of it, you're gonna die. Okay, force the nade. Same deal. Again, like, if you're gonna... This is a big problem with your Monkey, because I've seen this in scrims as well. It's like you're so indecisive, right? And that's hard. That's hard because Monkey is really hard. Because if you're decisive with a bad decision, you just die. but like, look at this, right? You have your jump coming off cooldown, right? Your bubble's not coming off cooldown. It's for a while, right? And then look, right? You spend this entire time just staring them down in the open, getting shot, right? And then they window, and you're still not doing anything, right? And then you're gonna jump. You don't even get to jump before you die, right? So you gotta like make a decision, right? Either sit here, right, and wait for your bubble, right, or walk over here and then jump, right, as soon as you can, right? Or just like jump over here and start flanking. Like there's a bunch of stuff you can do, but the point is don't get stuck with this, right? Once you get stuck, it's over. If you like you're super fixated on this day and you're just staring them down and they're just looking at you and shooting at you, right? That's like no bueno, right? Like if you're gonna wait, if you need to wait for whatever reason, right? Just wait, right? Don't peek. But if you like Monkey is super vulnerable to getting poked out. If you get poked out, it's like a disaster. So. Yeah, don't go with your team. They've got a Sonic Arrow here, so they can just find you whenever they want. Or not whenever they want, but like they have a Sonic Arrow, and they're here alone, so they pushed you. Yeah, you're gonna jump from the front, and it's gonna end pretty much the same way. We're rezzing. We bubbled the res for some reason. Okay, now this is like we're getting worse. We started with this jump, which was okay, right? Not best, not ideal, but like it was okay. And then we went to this jump, which was worse. And now we're walking through the tunnel. This is getting even worse. Oh my god, the damage. All right. First of all, this bubble's too early. But why is the jump good? It comes from a different angle from the rest of your team, right? Not, it wasn't even ideal, right? There's a lot of problems to get here, right? But you jump from a different angle, and it's immediately better. Also, your primal's too early, knowing that you're getting nanoed, but I mean, it gets all the kills, so it looks cool on the kill feed. Alright, please don't be hard. Please don't stay on card. Yes. Go set up. Setting up as monkey is the most important thing you can do. Nothing is more important than setting up on monkey. Alright, this is a good spot. Just hide here. Right? And don't look at these guys. Like, look back and check, right? But look here, right? Look here. Look at where they can actually come out, right? You can look at these, like look every once in a while and just check on what your team's doing, right? To see what they're setting up, right? But the most important thing is making sure that someone doesn't walk in through here when you're not looking, or the sniper just walks over here and takes a free pot shot at you, right? That's something you can't let happen. Because again, you don't want to get poked out. If a Sombra sets up on you right now, that's a bit different. But like, if a Tracer sets up on you, right, that's a disaster. This is so much pressure. Nice. Oh, hey, McCree. Alright, he's out. Alright, you should don't focus this guy. Focus these guys. Right? So, when this is going on, right, when you, instead of, like, dropping down the Rein, drop down this high ground and bubble it and just look down at these guys, right? This is good, but don't focus these guys. Focus this guy, right? Put the pressure on them. Do you see how like they can walk through like around your bubble, feeling safe because they're not getting zapped, right? Put real pressure on them. Don't just like bubble and assume it covers it, right? Either like place your bubble so it actually cuts out the choke, in which case you should still cut them off and not let them through, right? Or I mean just shoot them. Don't shoot the tanks. Like it was a good bubble, but the bubble would be a lot stronger if you were actually using the bubble, right? Like apply real pressure. Nice. I don't know if the bubble was necessary, but it was fine. Spending bubble to not take damage is usually not a bad trade, as long as you're getting something out of it. Alright, nice. Set up, please set up. Alright, they scouted you, so you should back up probably. Okay, you're walking up, that's fine too. Keep in mind that, yeah, they're always going to spam this, especially if you got Sonic going this way, so. You kind of actually don't want to go high ground, because you want other people to go high ground and draw their attention to high ground, and then you jump from lower, right? That's usually the way you actually want to go as monkey, because here you're scouted, and then here, like, you see like how difficult it is to jump from here to here without hitting your head on this roof? Which means you have to clear the doorway before you can jump, right? Which is an easy way to take like 300 damage from snipers, right? And like, just in general, you gotta jump earlier. As soon as you see that guy drop, right, just go straight for the other sniper, right? You gotta make a play. The longer you wait here, the more time that you give them to do things. That bubble wasn't necessary. You should only bubble if that guy tries to stick around and fight you. Alright, as soon as you got bubble, just like walk around, right? Don't walk in front, because this is where they're looking, right? They're more likely to see you if you come from this direction as opposed to that direction, right? You're just more likely to be in their field of view. So go around this way, right? And then drop down, bubble, and do whatever you want, and you win the fight, most likely. That bubble kind of sucks. This target focus in the nano also kind of sucks. Like again, you want to focus like these kind of people, right? Make them really sad, right? You don't have to kill them necessarily, but you need to make them sad. Nice. All right. So overall, on Rein, you need to pay more attention to off angles, and just push them really aggressively and don't get distracted, right? Cart is really not important unless they're like literally capping or something, right? It's more important in sniper metas in particular to actually shove the backline and keep them from doing anything useful. And when you have speed, instead of shoving the angles, you clear the angle with speed and then you run straight at the backline with speed. But the priority is clearing angles, right? That's and the way you do it is the way you path for that is really important. Also, don't hold on to shatter. A shatter for a kill is always worth it, as long as it's like early in a fight. Yeah, for your monkey, you gotta flank. You gotta go. Directions are different from your team, and don't be afraid to go low ground, because low ground is actually how you like what people usually aren't watching, because everyone's watching high grounds. And low grounds can get you to high ground, just by like pathing. Like it can get you to the enemy team on high ground, right? And don't be afraid to flank, right? Monkey really doesn't play well with his team. Don't go in any place that will put you in the same direction as your team, or in a spot that requires you to like jump into a spot that puts you in front of your team, right? you always want to be approaching from other angles. It just yeah, it works for ball too, but for monkey it's even more important because you have one jump and one bubble, right? Whereas ball can just kind of do whatever he wants really. Um, yeah. If you have questions, comments, concerns, let me know. If you get to this part in the video, DM me what 50 plus 2 equals.